I grew up in Colorado Springs, Colorado. In fourth grade, I lived on Peaceful Place, attended Penrose Elementary, and had a teacher named Mrs. Schoolmaster. That year was a significant year in my life because my mom, for the first time, allowed me to play tackle football. I played for the Village Green Packers, and my head football coach, as you can see on the slide right there, was Coach Bonebreak. We affectionately called him Coach Bonebreaker. Our best player was a fullback nicknamed Baby Bull. I mean, think about that. Peaceful Place, Miss Schoolmaster, Coach Bonebreaker, and Baby Bull. You can't make that stuff up. Fourth grade was a memorable year in my life, and this is actually the 40th anniversary of that team that went undefeated. We were 7-0. We won the championship game, 6-0, on a late touchdown by none other than Baby Bull. A week after the season ended, we had an end-of-season party at Shakey's Pizza Parlor, and I remember that event vividly. I was devastated that the season was over. We handed out the trophies, we had our pizza, we drank our root beer, and I wept bitterly at the end of the celebration because I was going to miss the relationships that I developed over that three-month period that become so vitally important to me. I was going to miss the orange slices at halftime. I was going to miss celebrating at Memorial Park. I was going to miss the wisdom that Coach Bonebreaker dispensed to us. I was going to miss the fellowship with my teammates and practices every day. I couldn't believe it was over. It's the best experience I'd ever had in my life as far as I could remember, and that's why it's so memorable to me today. You know, one of the things that I remember about that time was that we didn't really worry about being undefeated. We'd never set a goal that we were going to win all of our games. We didn't worry about who was going to play quarterback or offensive lineman or safety. We didn't really worry about, the outcomes. We just loved being together. We didn't have over-the-top parents. It was kind of an era before that, the Wonder Years, where they were Googling how to be a sports agent for their child. Everybody just enjoyed the sport for what it was. We had what sports psychologists call team chemistry. My head football coach that year, if he was alive today, would be able to make millions of dollars counseling professional sport teams on how to be successful. It's a simple concept, but it's so hard for people to grasp. Not coincidentally, I have committed my life to coaching young men, and my goal as a coach, my expertise as a coach, is helping young men do things they would not otherwise be able to do without me being there. I inspire and motivate. The goal for that is ultimately I want to use athletics to produce world changers, people that will go out and change their families, change their communities, and change our world for the better through the lessons they've learned through that process. Kind of like what this experience did for me, and is the reason I'm up here talking today. And the foundation for all of that is not a goal for success. The foundation for all that is the power of relationships. It all started with people pouring into people and making a difference relationally. What happens when relationships becomes part of the process is the people involved in the process become more committed, give greater effort, work harder, work longer, sacrifice more, and persevere until the very end. The dynamics are incredible. The opportunities are incredible. And the investment, the cost basically, to get this back is taking the time to plan out intentionally how you're going to develop that relationship and take the time to develop it. The cost is time. Thoughtful time. Let me give you an example from my own professional experience. This past season as a coach, I failed to make the playoffs for the first time in 12 years of coaching. Going into the last game, we knew we weren't going in the playoffs because we already had lost enough games to disqualify us. And the team that we were playing had an opportunity to go to the playoffs for the first time in 19 years. They were going to break their playoff drought if they could simply gain a victory over our team. We went out, we played the first half of the game, and we went in at halftime behind by 21 points. Earlier in the week, as a coaching staff, we had decided, since we knew this was going to be our last week together, we were going to go out on our own terms. And we were going to focus on celebrating our relationships, celebrating the positive things that we'd done, and every experience that we had that week was going to be centered on that opportunity. We competed and played games in practice that was filled with laughter in preparation for the game, but we were enjoying our time together. We constantly reminded the kids of how important that time was and how in a week it would end for this team forever. Going into the game in our mentoring groups, we talked about the power of a legacy, especially for our seniors, a lot of whom would be playing their last game forever. And we challenged them. What is the legacy relationally that you wanted to have with your fellow seniors? What's the legacy you want to leave for the young men that will return next year and represent you as an alumni? It was a powerful week. The kids' responses were amazing. It was a lot of fun. It was a great, great week of football. And the foundation of all that was a goal based on relationships. Well, we went out in the second half and really challenged the kids at halftime in terms of, when this game's over, will you be able to look these guys that you love, one another, in the eye and be able to say to them, we did your best. You did your best. And you honored our relationship with one another. Went out in the second half, scored 35 points, held them to 7, won the game 49-42. Very significant to me because the team we played had the ultimate goal of making the playoffs. And in that moment, the goal of relationships, the power of relationships, allowed us to overcome a 21-point deficit, win a game, and go into an off-season with no other motivation than loving one another. It was an incredible experience for me as a coach. And I think the kids would say it was a pretty incredible experience for them as well, in that in the last moment of the season, the last week of the season, they got it. They got the key to success. They got the foundation to success. They got the plan for success. In today's society, we are outstanding at goal setting, at organizing, at evaluating and revising, at holding accountable. We're outstanding at multitasking. We're outstanding at dissecting and analyzing. We're great at all those things. It's powerful. It's a powerful tool. But the foundation for all of those things must be the development of the relationships and the people involved. Whether you're a family, a team, a classroom, a school, a business, a community, a city government, if that doesn't become the foundation for what you're doing will never be as successful as it potentially could be. You're relying on things like talent, and there's a lot more to it than that. I conclude by saying that we need a society where a teacher knows how to bring the best out of a child, where the head of a business knows how to bring the best out of his employees, where a parent needs to be able to take opportunities and capitalize on all the unscripted moments in raising a child that you don't read about in any book that you buy at the bookstore, and maximize those moments so that that young person become the greatest adult possible according to their gifts and talents. And the foundation of that, the foundation of producing world changers, in my opinion, is the foundation of relationships and the impact that they have. Because before you have relationships, you can't have goals. It's relationships before goals. Thank you very much.